Welcome back. You're still watching our special PVL Finals episode, and this time we're breaking down the dominance of the Creamline Cool Smashers. And Z Herbacio and volleyball analyst Neil Flores are still at the board here. Z not being Vanna White for this segment, but please do go on. Creamline up on deck.
All right, so earlier we talked about Choco Mucho. This time we'll talk about the Cool Smashers, starting with how they have been such a dominant force in this conference, or ever since they've joined the PVL. So to break it down, we have Neil Flores today. So Neil, talk about the dominance of this squad.
First point for me that was very obvious this conference was the utility of the bench. It was really used, like every player was used in this rotation, because there were a couple of seasons na yung Creamline, they just stuck it out with the starting six.
Right.
Not a lot of substitutions, or they would do their substitutions pag sure na panalo na sila.
Exactly.
But this time around, we saw some of the games na hindi naglaro si Eliza Valdez, we saw some games na hindi naglaro si Bernadette Pons, and I guess it was just managing the playing time of each and every player. And heavy talaga sa wings yung Creamline Cool Smashers. Very obvious. You have Michelle Gumabao and Tots Carlos sharing the same possession.
Right.
So that is a good problem for Coach Sherwin Meneses kung sino yung ipapasok niya. But since they're very heavy on the wings, sobrang laking contribution nun in the attacking and receiving category. Matagal na silang #1 in spiking.
Right.
Hindi na tayo nagulat dyan. But receiving has improved so much for the wings of the Cool Smashers. That was something that was exploited in the past conferences. The servers would target Eliza, they would target Tots. But right now, you would see these players very confident on the pass. So nagfo-flow lang talaga naturally yung offense ng Creamline.
I mean, spiking-wise, you gotta see in this picture alone, parang, di ba, tatlo na sila dyang nag-aagawan ng #1 spot. And there's 3 others in the bench who can contribute as much. But let's move over to how has been, or what are the things that contribute to Creamline success? Because, you know, they lost Sed Domingo, they lost Gia Morado, de Guzman, and everybody thought, hala, this might be the dark ages already, it's starting. But no, they have been very consistent still with their performance, especially with those two gone. And I guess it's a system.
Yeah, it's really the system. Kyle Negrito has a similar play style with Gia de Guzman. So, hindi ako kinabahan personally for Creamline because I knew that Kyle Negrito was always ready to take up that first setter space. Siyempre, Gia de Guzman is the gold standard of setting, so mahirap nga naman makipagpalitan. But now, she is #2 in setting with a 4.88 average, and one of the other facets of her game is that she's a heavy server, she can block, and she can defend well. And these are the main points of setters. I mean, they can't score as much compared to the wings. And you mentioned kanina na nawala ngayon dalawang starters nila. With the addition of wings, kumbaga nag-load up sila dun sa position para hindi na mapansin siguro yung mga nawalang players. And Risa Sato has been a starter din naman for the Cool Smashers.
Yep.
She's no stranger to this starting six. So it wasn't a difficult transition really for the Cool Smashers.
Is setting something that you're looking forward to on the finals?
Yes, the #1
When
setter going up against the #2 setter. Both of them distribute the balls well. A while ago, we talked about Dina Wong. Nakita ko nga yung stat sheet ng Choco Mucho. 5 players scored in double digits, which was surprising to me kasi kadalasan 1 or 2 wings lang eh. But for Kyle Negrito, she has that luxury of setting heavy-handed attackers. I mean, kahit kanina iba to, she's very confident that they can convert on the first pass or even in long rallies.
Exactly.
So itong rotation ng Creamline with the setting of Kyle Negrito, it's really built to last.
And speaking of having stacked pin hitters, itong pin hitter na to used to be a pin hitter, transition to being a libero. Ella De Jesus, you wanted to mention her today?
Yeah, she was very stable in the times that she got playing time. This is the conference na masasabi ko, ang daming playing time ni Ella. There were times na pag na-off si Kyle Negrito, that's the only time na ipapasok siya ni Coach Sherwin Meneses. But again, I mentioned earlier that the utility of the bench, the depth really saved the Creamline squad. And kung titingnan natin, importante yung bench kasi the longevity of a club team is very important. If you want to build a long-lasting system or a long-lasting program in the PVL, kailangan hindi mo masyadong papagurin yung first
Six
six all
mo.
throughout. Kasi you got these second stringers for a reason. And right now, we're seeing the full force of Creamline. And that is scary.
I mean, that's a good point kasi especially in this conference na nagsimula tayo, there are 12 teams. So, and with the format na 11 elimination games and then best of 3 semis and then another series for the championship. So it's really longevity. And how do you see Creamline, say, in the next 3 years?
They will still be a dominant force, definitely. And every conference na nakikita natin, nadadagdagan ng talent itong Creamline Cool Smashers. So, they have their plans, and for sure they want to stay on top. But they will be facing their sister team, a team that is peaking at the right time. So they have to watch their backs as well.
All right, so is there any other thing, Neil, that would make them really stand out in the finals?
They just really need to lessen their errors. We've
Okay.
said this so many times. They always control the attacking department.
Yes.
They have that edge in serving, also in receiving. But na-eclipse yun sometimes with the errors that they register in every set. And that is a make or break, I guess, lalo na sa finals. You have to be able to play it clean against Chocomucho.
And the timing of those errors
Yeah.
as well is very crucial. So thank you so much, Neil. Okay, after this na talaga pag-uusapan na natin yung matchup. Tama ba, Pao?
Tama yan, because game 1, obviously, everyone's excited for it. Everyone is trying to get tickets for it. I don't have one. Neil has them. Please message him. We're wrapping up our special PVL Finals preview with what to expect in game 1 of the opening tip between Creamline and Chocomucho. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.